guess that means I'm live. All right, and then, while we're getting started here, I need to refresh my phone here to see if I can get the old Wonderbound IT live stream shared, folks. When you open it up, oh, there we are. I see it. Happy New Year. I will share this now and check it out. All right. Spencer, you're going to keep an eye on the chat for me in case anybody comes in.
Sure will.
I will hit that there. Better turn that down just a little bit. Don't want to hear too much on that. Perfect. Well, we're going to give people just another few seconds here to join the live stream. This is our first live stream of the year. This is, I suppose, I'm here. Spencer's here working the boards for us. Greg is not here, and we'll talk about that more during the course of the show. But if you guys are out there and you're watching, don't forget, post anything in the chat, ask us questions, say hello. It's 2023. Let's get off on the right foot. But yeah, if you're out there and you're watching, don't forget to like our page, and if you don't mind giving us a share, see if we can get somebody else to watch and like our page as well. Otherwise, I think we can go ahead and throw up the intro. Spencer, cue it up when you're ready. Oh no, the intro is missing. That's all right, folks. I can sit here and talk without an intro. But yeah, what is it? January 6th. We're 6 days into the new year, and technical difficulties already. We've actually had a fairly busy start to this year, and we'll talk about that during the bench report. You'll see some things that are going on here. It's the usual, computer stuff, getting computers fixed, old computers. We're seeing it all, folks. It's like I said, it's 2023. It's a new year. We're ready to fix your computers. If you have them, bring them in. If they need looked at, we can do that. And Jennifer on the bench has been very helpful with that. But we also have, our client work that we're doing. It's for accountants, it's tax season. Things are getting started. Nobody can wait to get their W-4s in and get their W-2s back, get those taxes filed. A lot of changes on their end. What else do we got going on this year? Man, 2023. I think there was some news about the Speaker of the House. Going to get into that. But yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff, but let's kick off the intro. Welcome to the Honor-Bound IT Weekly Live Show, starring Greg Fine, Keith Haskin, Jennifer Hall, and Mr. Rogers. All right, welcome back, everyone. Like the title said, first live stream of the year, 2023. We are ready to kick it off and kick it off good. We got some stuff coming up this month that we'll kind of talk about that as we get closer to it. We're working with the Chamber of Commerce on an event coming here in McCook, and then we also got a couple other things that we're working on with some other partners. Grow Nebraska, that's coming up in the future here in the year, and we'll keep people informed and updated on when that comes up. Got a lot of other stuff to talk about in the live stream as well. We got Greg in the chat. Greg is Greg is not here, and we'll tell you why here in a little bit. Guys, stick around. We also have every live stream the meme of the week. This year is no different. We'll keep the meme of the week going. But first, I think we should get started on the bench report. Spencer, when you're ready, cue it up.
And now for the bench report with Jennifer Hall.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the bench report, the first one of the year. I'm Keith. This is Jennifer. And, starting the year off, we got a little bit busy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We took a break at the end of the year, but, we'll kind of recap from right after Christmas up until this week. The last couple weeks here, it's just been, a lot of computers coming in, right?
A whole lot of computers.
Yeah, and I guess people, it's cold, and they
Yeah.
had the vacation, the holidays, things like that. Maybe they're using their computers a little bit more, noticing some things going wrong and stuff like that. But that's why we're here. We're helping people get their stuff working right, and if they need data transfers or cleanups and things like that, that's what we've been doing. And that was what most of them were, right?
A lot of them were slow computers. Had a printer.
Yeah, let's start with the slow computers. I know we get those, frequently, but a lot of times it's things like, browser extensions that are causing your performance to be slow when you're surfing the web, or we had some malware issues that we found and removed on a few of them. The other thing is a lot of these computers are pretty old. You want to talk about the age of some of these things we've seen coming in?
I'd seen some that were 10 years old, 11 years old.
Yeah, and that's a testament to the computers. These were computers that actually they bought from Greg that long ago, and still working and running and things like that. And we got one of them. He's purchased a new computer. He's ready to make the jump from his old computer. You don't want to be using that old computer and then all of a sudden it die on you, and then you don't have a backup plan. It's always good to plan ahead, and especially when you have an older computer, get ready for that, making that move to a new machine. And even speaking about the printer, the man that brought that printer in, it wasn't working when he had his printer plugged into his computer, but we was able to get it to work on Wi-Fi.
Yep.
And he wanted to use it plugged in, and so we said, sorry, that's not going to work like that. So they actually went out and bought a new printer, brought it in, we tested it and set it up, made sure it worked with the cable plugged into the computer, and then reminded him, if things are starting to happen where the printer doesn't connect to the computer anymore. His computer was 9 years old, I think.
Yep.
So he had a 9-year-old computer purchased from Greg, and it's still working. It's just he's having some issues with the printer, so we just reminded him, hey, the next time you're having problems with the computer and the printer, it may be time to put some money towards a new computer. So we're always here to give people fair advice, and if it's still working, go ahead and continue to use it, because there's no reason to get rid of things that are still working. I was telling the man who's buying a new computer, don't fix what's not broken, right?
Yep.
And then another thing that we had on the bench, we had a computer come in. You want to talk about that and what happened and how we got that going?
Well, we had a computer come in November, and the guy had dropped his computer, so the screen wasn't fully working, and it took 2 months to get a part in for that.
And that computer was actually covered by warranty,
Yeah,
believe it or not, wasn't it?
Uh-huh.
So that's always nice that he had bought a computer from us, one of our Dell All-in-Ones, back when we were able to get those in stock. And, it was an accidental drop off the desk. And, sometimes the warranties aren't always so kind when things like that happened. But the screen was still working, and they actually sent a technician to replace it, right?
Yep.
And that's always nice with the Dell warranties that we get. If something does happen, a lot of times they'll actually send a technician out to do the repairs. Sometimes they send us the parts and we do it ourselves, but if it's under the warranty, they like to kind of keep things in-house and take care of that themselves, which we really appreciate. Sometimes
I was really happy because the tech said that one was a really hard computer to replace the screen on.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to do that with one of the all-in-ones. I know taking that part, and the hard drives and things are pretty straightforward on those, but some of the more technical things, it's always nice to have a professional, somebody that does it all the time, which a lot of times we can handle that stuff, but having somebody come out and do it is a lifesaver. All right, guys, let's kind of recap what we had on the bench for the past few weeks. A lot of computers coming in, slow computers. If you're thinking that your computer's running slow or you notice any kind of performance, stop by, let us know, drop it off. We can do what we can to help you out. But that's it for the bench report this week. We'll see you next time. Thanks.
Computer repaired? You'll be happy to know that you can get your computer repaired at a fixed rate. It all starts with computer diagnostics at $49.99. We call you and let you know what needs to be done before we do your repair. If you approve, we move ahead. Before you know it, we'll be calling you for pickup. We can help get you squared away. Bring your computer to Honor Bound IT at 109 Norris Avenue in McCook, or call today at 877 686
All right, folks. The bench report with Jennifer Hall. We had talked quite a bit about things. A lot of stuff that we see here with old computers, especially. And we had a comment in the chat about Windows 8, and we had two computers in here that were on Windows 8 this week, and the person who brought them in was actually buying a new computer, so we got them on Windows 11 and away from Windows 8 because it actually ends January 10th. The notice was popping up as we were working on the computer. So if you are using Windows 8, if you're using Windows 7, you're definitely beyond the support. Windows 8 is just a few more days. And what that means is that the operating system isn't going to be supported by Microsoft. And so you're not going to get any security updates. You're not going to get any updates of any kind, really. And that is going to leave you vulnerable for, all kinds of online threats and things like that. Because when these operating systems expire and they're not supported and there's vulnerabilities that don't get patched, the bad guys are going to find them. They're going to take advantage of them. And there are still going to be people out there using Windows 8. There's probably still people out there using Windows 7. We always recommend keeping your operating systems updated if you can. Windows 10 is still out there. Windows 11 is probably what you're going to be buying if you're going out to the store and getting something new. That's what we're selling is Windows 11 desktops and laptop computers. We have I think we still have a few laptops in stock. If you're one of those people that are actually one of those holdouts that are on one of those older operating systems, and you have questions about, what should I do? You can stop by here at the store. We're at 109 North Avenue. We're here in McCook, Nebraska. Open Monday through Friday from 8 to 5, or give us a call at 308-345-6322. We can take care of those things, get your stuff moved over from one computer to another. And like we said in the bench report, that's exactly what we did for this individual. And, we moved the data and, backed up all his files, documents, pictures, and things like that. Another thing we actually did for him was the QuickBooks. And we do this quite often, actually, is, people are using their QuickBooks and, whatever version, hopefully you're on something that's supported by QuickBooks. If you're not, and in this case, they was on an older version of QuickBooks, but we're actually able to get those. I think QuickBooks will let us go back 10 years, maybe. We'll have to confirm that. But you can actually go back and actually download and install your QuickBooks. If you have your license code and your product code, you can install that onto a new computer, and we can back up your QuickBooks files and transfer that stuff over and get you back up and going. The nice thing about it is that you pick up where you left off. It's like nothing really ever changed. The only thing is you got a new piece of equipment. All your stuff is still there. You're just carrying on as normal. The big change, actually, there is a big change between Windows 8 and Windows 11. Some of the stuff is the same, but the settings, the start menu, the taskbar, the desktop, some of that stuff is a little bit different. Windows 11 is a lot more modern, a lot easier to navigate. That Windows 8, it was terrible. It sucked. I don't know if you've ever used that, Spencer, but it was not good.
I don't think I've used Windows 8, but I think I have an XP, and maybe that's what my computer is Windows 8.
Oh man, well, it's time to, go when you get home, double check that. If you guys are out there right now and you're listening to us on your phone or on your computer, double check your operating system. Make sure you're not on Windows 8. Hopefully, you've moved on to at least to Windows 10, and then Windows 10. It'll eventually come to its end of life. I think we got a few years left on that. Don't worry, we'll let you know when that happens and try to get you ahead of time, so that way you can make that transition from an old operating system that's not supported, not updated, to something new that's supported and updated, so you're secure. Yeah, but enough about the bench report and things like that. Windows 8, we'll go over that probably next week as well. But we're going to talk about some of the things. It's the new year, and we got a lot of plans here at Honorbound IT to do some things, events. One of the things that Greg and I talk about is we want to get out there and kind of spread the message, help people out any way we can. And so one thing we got coming up, we're actually doing an event with the partner of McCook Chamber of Commerce, and it's going to be about time management, and not just time management, but time management tools that we use in Microsoft 365. So there's a lot of people out there that are using Microsoft 365, and they're probably just using it for, their email, Outlook, something that has been around forever. They're probably just using Word, to type up documents, and Excel to make spreadsheets and things like that. When you got Microsoft 365, there's a lot more than just, Outlook, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, and one of the things that we're going to be talking about is how to take advantage of that and how to use the tools that you're given within Microsoft. Actually, one of the people I was working with today, when we was talking about getting Microsoft 365, you actually get Microsoft Defender, which is Microsoft's version of an antivirus, and it's a basic antivirus, and it'll do very well for any home user. So that's why we recommend using that Microsoft 365 personal for one account is $70 a year. You just sign up and you put your information into Microsoft, and it just auto renews, and then you don't have to think about your Outlook not working, or you're not able to do files in Word and Excel and things like that. The only time you'd have an interruption is if your card expired. You'd have to go and update that. Another nice thing about Microsoft 365 is OneDrive, and we'll probably touch on that too at a later point. With the 1 terabyte of cloud storage, so your files are backed up and you can get those on any device. But this event we got coming up, it's going to be coming up here later in January, and we'll talk about that. But time management in Microsoft 365, there's a couple really good tools besides just Outlook, and your calendar. It's obviously good to use your calendar to put things on there so you can, oh, what do I got to do tomorrow? Or what do I got to do next week? Oh, I got an event coming up in March. You use your calendar, people. That's what it's there for. But staying on task and adding things to your calendar, sometimes you might forget about it. And that's why we like using to-dos. And it's included with your Microsoft 365, your personal plan. It's actually included for free if you use just Outlook.com. If you just use the web version, you do get those apps for free. You don't get any of the desktop apps. Everything's online. So it's Outlook.com, Word.com, all that stuff. And it's very helpful to use. And I've been practicing using it for probably been using To Do for about 6 months or so now. And it's not easy you got to actively look at it and say, okay, what do I need to do today? What do I need to do? So you go ahead on your to-do, you list a couple things out, and then, you can add those to your calendar as you do them, or you can go back and check those off when they're done, and it'll just keep you on task and things are doing. And to-do is a personal thing. Planner is not included in the free version. You actually have to buy the Microsoft 365 package to get that. And that's actually more of a collaborative thing where if you have a team of people, and we use that here for some of our video stuff, where you can actually assign tasks to people and add them to their calendar. So that way then they can stay on task, and then you can follow up with them, and everybody can see what's going on and who's doing what. You can add notes and checklists and links and all that nice stuff. And it has um, nice style of like a I don't know what they call it, like a board is what they call it, I believe. You can actually drag and drop things from like one area of your board, and you can set those up any way you want. It's very customizable, very easy to use. And we'll be going over more of that in our event that we're going to be doing. And we're still planning this stuff out, but we're actually got some people signed up. So we're excited about that. And that's later in January. So we'll try to keep you updated on that. And once we get that event, we're actually going to record it. And we're probably going to reuse that for some of our internal stuff, and probably do another event if this goes well. If people are interested in learning about Microsoft To Do and Microsoft Planner, let us know in the chat. We're happy to help out any way that we can. Chris, you got a question?
Greg says Kanban.
Kanban. Is it Kanban or Kanban? It's a Japanese word, I think. But yes, Greg, you can correct me. Kanban is, I believe, where you can drag and drop from like one column to another. And I think that's the term for that. And I think they have another one. It's like it almost looks like a graph style, but if you have it, check it out. Definitely recommend using it if you can. And but yeah, we'll talk more about that in the future once we get that event going. And if people are interested, we'll probably host another event. We do want to do a few of these. We're trying to get out, once a month to meet with people and do a little bit of these lunch and learns and kind of educate people on some of the tools that they have in Microsoft 365. So keep a lookout for that. And if you have questions, let us know. Oops, malfunction there on the microphone. I got better tighten that up. But yeah, man, I guess without Greg here, it's been kind of lonely. We've actually been chatting on Teams this week, and Greg, I know you're in the chat. I've seen some things there. Um, but yeah, and I guess it's sad. Greg, I think it was January 2nd took a tumble, and I think he said he had a compression fracture. Greg, if you're in the chat and you want to elaborate, go ahead. I'll continue talking, but yeah, it's painful, and nobody wants to slip and fall on the ice. And I think Greg was actually telling me he was watching videos of people falling, and then the next day it happened to him. So I don't know if that's karma or what that is, but yeah, he's a little bit laid up. And the nice thing about what we do with working with tech, the remote work, we do set a lot of people up to work from home. What does I say? Broke my butt. Yes, that is a well. I thought it was broken. Isn't there a giant crack in it? Oh, sorry, crude humor here. But yeah, Greg's been working from home. We've been actually communicating through Teams. Another great thing if you have Microsoft 365, Teams has allowed you to video chat, and so we get in the morning. Greg gets around, gets his coffee, gets woken up a little bit, and then he'll hit me up on the Teams chat, and we can work together collaboratively, remotely, and it's very helpful because there was a couple things that we were working on this morning or yesterday morning. I'm sorry. One of them we're actually, I guess, it's something else we're working on is our website. We're actually doing a website revamp here pretty soon, and we've been working with a partner on that. And Greg called me up, and they had us a little document we had to fill out, and I think he said it only it'd take an hour. I think it took us almost 3 hours to go through it because some of these questions that they ask you for these things, you have to step back and think about, your target market. What are their problems? There's just tons of questions that they had on this thing, and we sat and we thought, and you're like, man, well, I mean, this is obviously the first go around through this thing, and we're going to meet with them and go deeper into this stuff. But just getting started, I mean, your website's pretty important, for a lot of businesses. It's how people can find you on the internet. It's how they can find your address, your phone number, what services you offer, all kinds of things. And so we're going to be working on that here in the future, and you know, working collaboratively on that remotely was really nice. Greg was still able to do things even though he wasn't here in the office. He tried to come in one day, and it's just too much for him. With you know the pain that he's going through. Then not to mention the medication. He said the day I came back from lunch, he said, "I'm just falling asleep at my desk. I got to go home." So I was like, "All right, we'll take you home and work remotely. That's all we need to do." So if you guys are out there and you're thinking about working remotely, maybe if you're having an injury or you're up at home but you still want to work, you're sick. These people, some people are workaholics. Greg is one of those people where he's at home and he gets a little crazy if he's not working. And there's a lot of people like that out there. Especially with we have a lot of clients that are accountants, and this time of year they can't afford to get sick. They can't afford to miss work. Well, with the remote work and things that we've set up, people can actually work from home a little bit here and there when they're feeling up to it, and then they're at home so they can go and sit down and take a break and step away for a little bit. And, especially if they're on pain medication or, it's sometimes it's just too much, especially if they're sick, they're coughing and sneezing and they sit at their computer for, 10 or 15 minutes and they didn't get anything done. Well, just go take a nap. So come back when you have a fresh mind and you can get started on it. Or if you're one of those people that want to work at 3 o'clock in the morning, you can do that. You can work from home. We can help you set that up. And if that's something that you're interested in, obviously let us know. We can help out with that as well. But yeah, what do we got here? I'm trying to think of another thing that we really did this week. We really didn't do much. Greg's been out of the office. And, Jennifer's been working on the bench report, a lot of computers coming in and working on editing some of our videos. We have our weekly tech talks we're going to be putting up. Actually, speaking of weekly tech talk, I think we have a highlight of one of our weekly tech talks. We'll cue that up and let you guys see that. And it's pretty interesting. So cue that up, Spencer.
Hi, Greg here from Honorbound IT, and I'm here to tell you about this week's tech tip. This week's tip is about the Microsoft Edge sidebar. It's really cool. It'll save you a ton of clicking. Coming up soon, we're going to be doing some actual demos in the new year, so do join us. We hope that you'll tune in.
All right. Yeah. Weekly Tech Talk. Microsoft Sidebar. It's pretty new. If you've seen it, if you're using Windows 11, you've probably seen it and probably just maybe ignore it, or maybe you just turned it off somehow. But pretty interesting. We'll share the video. It'll be we'll share it on our Facebook page. It'll be available on our YouTube page as well. Yeah, and if you've forgotten about our YouTube page, jump on there. We're at Honorbound IT. You can subscribe to us on YouTube and watch a couple of our videos. We have a pretty decent catalog. And we're trying to get more stuff on there. So if there's some things that maybe you guys want us to talk about, put it in the chat. Let us know. We'll research and do what we do and make a video for you guys and share that. And so hopefully we can give everybody a little bit of value, and hopefully they can learn something from us. Enough of that. It is the moment you've all been waiting for. Time for meme of the week. What do we got, Spencer?
Give it just a second here, maybe.
There we go.
Get me in the right frame here. All right.
It's got to be the jesters. Just going to block the jesters there, Spencer.
Oh, really? Well, okay.
Cue it up.
Surely. There we go. Okay. So for this week, we have this meme here. It's what's the difference between Iron Man and Aluminum Man? Iron Man stops the bad guys, and Aluminum Man just foils their plans. Yeah, that's just great, just lovely. So that's the meme of the week there. And then also have cats, right?
We do have a cat video. I actually had to request one. Our fearless leader, that's his work. I think that was his work spot when we were working together. And I noticed in a few times we were talking, he was yelling at his cats and they were getting in the way of his work. And so, talking about remote work, I suppose, you get these distractions at home. So it's maybe not always easy to work at home. You got to be at the office to get things done. If you got, what is that? Do I see 4 or 5 cats on the bed there? Tell me again. 5 cats. 5 cats just sitting on your bed. Yeah, you're not getting any work done with 5 cats sitting on the bed. I don't know. Maybe you are, but I couldn't be getting anything done. I'd have to have. I got some laser pointers for Christmas. I'd be flashing them around, trying to get them to run away from me or something. But yeah, Greg, thanks for the pictures of the cats this week. They are lovely. Greg, if you're still in the chat, why don't you just tell us who they are? But yeah, they're nice looking cats. They look pretty comfy. Obviously, looks like they ran Greg off of the bed. But yeah, that's what we got for you this week. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. I don't know. I haven't heard the definitive answer if Greg will be back yet. Spencer, I think you got things cleared out. You'll be here, right?
For next Friday?
Next Friday.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Spencer took a few Fridays off from us, so
yeah. got my time off for the start of the year.
Got things figured out. Well, good. We'll be happy to have you back, and we're happy to have everybody watching back next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. So we'll see you then.
Hey! Did you just hear that?
Sweet salty socks.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for joining us for our weekly live show. We're Honor Bound IT, where there's no fluff and we get right to